You're now listening to Out the Box Radio with your host, Kendall JP.
What's going on, DMV?
Hey.
Hey, love, Miss Jonay. How you doing? You feeling good? I feel good in here. It's nice and cool.
It is cool.
I got a little bit of goosebump when I first came in, but it's a good goosebump because I was worried outside. It was hot. I started to sweat, and when I sweat, white people's face look like they start to melt when they sweat because we don't get that good elastic skin, so it don't bounce back. So I have a problem with that, but it was all good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's my kind of weather.
You like this
I
weather?
love
Well, you
this
dressed for the weather today.
I
You got your
ran
arm
home
showing.
and, I changed my clothes out my work clothes so I don't look like a square.
Not a square though. Well, look, we're gonna be some circles today because we're gonna get into this fun ass game.
Okay.
I like random little stuff, so I feel like you probably like random little stuff too sometimes. So we're gonna have fun with it. We do everybody who is tuning in, we do have a guest who's gonna be calling in just a few minutes. And we are going to introduce him when he calls in. He does a lot actually in the community.
Yeah.
He's very involved, very powerful, I feel like. So I'm honored to be able to have him be a guest on our show, honestly. Like, I feel happy about this interview. I feel good about this interview.
Me too. I did a little bit of research too.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, this young man is.
He's doing some
What
stuff.
doesn't he do?
Right. That's what I'm about to say. Like, what don't you do, sir?
Right.
Absolutely. Well, let's get into the game. So everyone who is tuning in, we do have a little thing. You know, normally we play like out the box interrogation, which I actually got you with. I think the first or second time you was
Yes.
here. I'll never forget the playground discussion. Never will forget that. But we're gonna do it a little bit different because we've already played that game. So this is something kind of similar, but it's not timed though, so we're good.
Okay.
No pressure. So it's called like this or that, but it's called this or that out the box. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you like two words or two phrases, and you just have to pretty much answer which one you want. So for example, I might say something random like steak or chicken, and you would choose which one you prefer.
one?
Whatever it means to you. If you like the item, if you favor it or whatever, you just choose one. Now, at any point in time with any of these that I read to you, it's about 20. If I question you on why you chose your answer, because I'm just curious, I'm going to stop you. And I'm going to say, please explain.
Okay.
And then you're just going to explain your answer, like why you chose that. So I won't do that to all of them for you because there's 20 of them. We'd be here all day. But there's some of them I might be like, And just so everyone who knows who's tuning in, like we didn't look at these sheets, and I told Jonay I didn't cheat. These were all online. There was like 100 of them. So I just copied like 20 for each of us. So she's going to do mine afterwards. I'm gonna do hers first, and we're gonna get into it. I just think it's something good to like an icebreaker, something fun, and to see if we have anything in common because we might be complete opposites.
Right.
But at the table, we have something in common. So we're gonna get into it. So are you ready to start? I'm
Yes.
excited. This or that?
excited.
All right. There's no timer, so we're just gonna get started.
Okay.
All right. Jonay,
Yes.
Facebook or Twitter?
Facebook.
Phone call or text?
Phone call.
Please explain.
I'll be 30 this year.
Ooh,
And,
me too.
During the time where I was talking on the phone and everything, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have texting, email, none of that. Like, we had the house phone.
Well, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I mean, that's honestly true. Well, okay, I'll keep going. I'm actually a texter. I hate phone calls. If someone calls me, I will either not answer or I'll hang up on them. But like, text me. Like, I do not like phone calls. I hate being on the phone.
I love it.
And a lot of my friends, if y'all who listen, they love to talk. So we be on the phone for hours. I'd be like, oh my gosh. So I'd rather just text. You're not on the phone for hours.
Oh,
Okay, sorry. Cardio or weights?
Cardio.
Oh, yes, I love it. Ice cream cone or snow cone?
Snow cone.
I was hoping you choose that. Thank God. We have a lot in common. Well, except for the phone, but. Okay, so while walking, music or podcasts?
Music.
iOS or Android? This could be a heated
that's a
conversation.
tough one. I just became team iPhone. So for like ever, I was Android.
Which I am.
I had a Nextel and then.
Yes, so did I.
You know,
Yep.
But I like my iPhone.
So you iOS now. But a few months ago, I could have caught you maybe on the Android side. Okay, because that's where I'm at. I never have an iPhone. I'm a little upset about that. Okay, pop or indie?
I'd say indie.
Indie? Okay,
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. Cake or pie? I don't like either or. Cake or pie?
Cake.
Okay. Big party or small gathering?
Small gathering.
Please explain. I'm curious.
I started partying young. I started partying when I was 14.
Okay.
And so now I'm all partied out. I would just rather a little...
I agree with you on that, and that's why I wanted you to explain that, because I feel the same way. Like, I'm about to be 30 as well, so that was fun back in the day.
Yeah.
You can have a few little drinks, but with people that you know you kick it with, they ain't talking behind your back or acting a fool or... No. Close people.
Yes.
Give me about 10, 12 at the most, and I'll be good.
I'm good.
I'll be good. If it's in my house, not that many, like 6, because we all need spaces to sit down, and nobody's standing in the corner.
Who's gonna help me clean up?
Who gonna help me clean up? Because they be quick to leave out. By the time it's time to go, they be like, "Oh, I gotta go." Everybody follow.
Make their plate. Make their to-go
Make their plate right. The hell's wrong with y'all? Okay, new clothes or new phone?
New clothes.
Okay. Whew, that one was a tough one for me. I don't know what I'd say. All right, rich friends or loyal friends?
Loyal.
Absolutely. Football or basketball?
Football all day.
Oh, I don't even have to ask you to please explain, because I hate both. But you hate basketball?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes. It's so they cry too much.
They do cry a lot.
You do like this.
Yeah.
And they falling all over the place. And, foul. And shut up. Yeah. Get up.
Get over yourself.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
Football is a man's sport. Basketball
is
for sissies.
Oh my gosh. Well, hopefully none of y'all basketball fans. And if you are, her Instagram handle is, it's like,
yes, you can
DM her your response. Right. It's okay. You can explain yourself. Don't go crazy on my co-host here. You can explain yourselves accordingly. All right. Work hard or play hard?
Oh, can I say both?
I'll let you have if you want to say once, you can say both. How about that? That's going to be a new rule we have if you want to say both for this one. But it's the only time you get to say that.
Okay, I have to say both
for this one. Okay, but explain then. I'm curious.
I don't have kids just yet, and it's just me, and I'm always traveling. I'm always doing things. So, I got to work hard so that I can do the things that I want to do. So I can't work hard and not play.
Yeah, because you have to grind in order to be able to play. Like, if you're not making money, what you playing for? You got to get a job. So you doing both collectively. You have time to work. You have time to play.
Yes.
Okay, good. I like that one. All right. So no more both, though. You can't do that now.
All right.
One or the other. Yes, you're one lifeline. Jogging or hiking? And you can't say neither.
God, I hate working out.
That's not an option. Do you?
Yes.
But you like cardio. You say cardio over weights.
Yeah.
So walking is almost like it's less strenuous.
It would definitely be walking.
Well, then again, it did say jogging. I'm sorry, that might change the whole game up. I did say
jogging. I mean, it's in the running family. I don't run unless something or someone is chasing me.
Hello, look, we do got something in common because I'll be damned. I'll be damned. You ain't gonna catch my ass. And if I trip like all the white people be doing in the movies, they always fall. That's why I don't wear shoes. I'll be running barefoot. I don't care, bitch. I ain't gonna slip over my shoes or shoelaces. Not today. I'll be like Tarzan and that mother. All right. So what about bath or shower?
Shower.
Ooh, yes. I hate taking baths, by the way, because I hate the grimy feeling. Like, you don't want to sit on. Ooh. People's feet be on. Ew, no. All right. Sneakers or sandals?
Sandals.
Okay. We got a few more. Glasses or contacts? Which is kind of weird question. I just realized that. Because if you have one or the other.
I was glasses.
You like glasses?
Yeah,
okay.
Glasses.
What's worse, laundry or dishes?
Dishes.
Mm-hmm. All right. Last one. Nice car or nice home interior?
Nice home.
Okay.
Interior, yeah.
Well, good. Okay. I like almost. I'm still stuck on that iOS or Android and the phone and text one. But I like most of your answers. I got you on that. Okay.
It's my turn.
Oh, Lord. Again, I don't know these. I promise you I didn't even look because I didn't want to cheat. So these are all fresh for me. All right, I'm ready.
Online shopping or shopping in the store?
Shopping in the store.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I agree. Passenger or driver?
Driver.
Yeah. Tablet or computer?
Computer.
Really?
And I have 2 tablets.
Why?
Because I'm old-fashioned.
Okay.
I have 2 tablets that I don't even use, to be honest with you. I prefer an actual computer. Plus, I do a lot of stuff like for this show, like editing and flyers and all that. I do all that on an actual computer.
On your computer.
I do. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Working alone or working in a team?
Working in a team.
Really?
I used to be a manager. So for me, it's about finding people's strengths and finding those people who have weaknesses and helping improve them. So as an overall team aspect, I enjoy it more. If I'm by myself, I know I'll get it done. But I'm not doing that. That's not the reason I do the work that I do. I do work that I do for other people and bring everybody together. I want to see how everyone plays in a team and what their role will be.
Oh, you're so nice.
Yeah.
Empowering.
Well, sometimes I can be mean and write people up as well.
All right. Okay. So at a movie, candy or popcorn?
Okay, I'm going to use this one as my neither.
Neither.
Can I use a neither instead of both?
You don't like?
I don't like popcorn like, really, and I don't eat that much candy. Okay, if I had to choose, I would say candy.
You would say candy?
Because I don't like popcorn kernels get stuck in my teeth and behind my mouth and stuff. It irritates me. I'd be choking.
I would have to say popcorn.
Oh.
I would.
Oh, see.
All right. So, amusement park or day at the beach?
The day at the beach.
Yeah.
I'm too old for amusement parks.
I love amusement parks.
Do you?
I love roller coasters.
You like roller coasters? I don't mind them, but I don't. It depends on who you go with. If it's a good crew, sure. But if it's hot and we sweating and we got to stand in line waiting for rides, I do not have time for that. No, give me a beach.
Okay. Oh gosh. Toilet paper, over or under?
Like how you put it on the thing? Oh, this is an OCD question, which I do have a little bit of. Okay, I'm gonna say over.
Yes.
Okay, ooh, thank God. I thought I would choose the wrong one. Over.
Yeah.
Over.
Because under, like, I have a.
I don't like when you rip it. Sometimes it's under and it leaves little extra pieces on the end. If
like,
it's over, you don't have to worry about that. And like hotels do it over usually, so I'm used to seeing it like that.
Because that's how it's supposed to.
Yeah, and it's easy to roll down if you want to roll it like a little cat or something. But like, I don't know. So you gotta find the spot because you don't know where the perforated edge is, and you be finding it. Over.
Exactly. All right. So, cups in the cupboard, right side up or upside down?
OCD question. Oh, that's a good one. Ooh, I'm really big on this. Okay, this is a two-parter for me.
Okay.
Both actual glasses, glassware, right side up. I don't want the top of it touching the cabinet.
Right.
Plastic cups is gonna be upside down because I don't. The reason I say this is it's easier to grab if they're in a stack.
Right.
I don't want people grabbing the tip where my mouth is at. No, you better flip that bitch over and grab it from the bottom up.
That's a pause moment. He said, "Grab where the tip."
Oh.
His mouth was at.
Oh, she knows me very well. Or from the bottom up, whichever you prefer. I'm very flexible. Okay. Ooh, Jesus.
Pancake or waffle?
Ooh, waffle.
I like waffles.
I do like
Have
waffles.
you Belgian though?
Yes. Ooh, yes. The nice
right.
big fluffy ones.
Train or plane?
Plane. Train takes too long.
Very true. Okay. Iced coffee or hot coffee?
Iced coffee, even though it gives me gas. I don't want no hot coffee. I'm sorry. I'll be farting like shit. And everyone I work with knows that. Iced coffee only. Don't get near me when I drink it, but I love it. I do not like hot coffee. I don't like hot stuff like that. Mm-mm.
All right. TV or book?
TV. I don't read. I know how to, but I don't like to. TV all day. Ratchet reality. Hello.
All right. So what's most important to you in a partner? Intelligence or funny?
I'm going to say funny.
Funny?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm very down to earth. I like someone who's funny. You can be smart,
Yeah.
but you can be dumb too. As long as you're funny, you're cute, you got me. I'm the intelligent one, so let me handle that. You just be the dumb, sexy one.
Yes.
And we're good with it. Yeah.
All right. Winter or summer?
Summer.
Yes.
I don't want it to be
definitely.
cold. Yeah.
Card game or board game?
Card game. I like some spades. I like some cards.
You know, I have a confession to make.
You don't know how to play spades.
Don't know how to play spades.
I ain't got enough breath left to go higher, but oh my gosh,
Y'all
what?
gonna take my black girl card away from me? 'Cause I don't
That's
know
okay.
how
We
to-
can look. And look, I'm the one white boy who really knows how to play, so we can just trade for the day. It's okay. We'll have to teach you how to play that. It's fun. I love spades. I love it. Yeah, I don't play for money, but it's fun. It's like if you drinking and chill, it's fun. I like it.
Yeah,
it's a good game.
Okay. Beer or wine?
I'm gonna say wine. I don't like beer. Beer tastes like piss.
It looks like horse piss to me.
Yeah, it probably tastes like. I don't know what it tastes like, but I feel like it would taste like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Is there one more? You can ask one more.
All right. Money or free time?
Money.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because guess what? Money will buy me free time when I get my PTO vacation. Then I'll go on my free time at that time. I need a job first. I need money.
Money.
Hello. All right.
Yeah,
I don't know if we have the
fun.
caller on the line. We might not. Mr. Jonathan Harris. If not, that is our guest who's going to be calling in. Mr. Harris, are you there?
Hello,
Well, Mr. Harris, is this? I hope it's Mr. Harris. Is this Jonathan? Possibly.
It's a little hard to hear you.
Oh. Well, we might be able to try to call you directly, maybe, if that'll work. I'm not sure. Should we try that? Okay. I have your number that you're calling from. Let me go ahead and try to call you and see if it works better, okay? All right, we're going to try that. We're going to try to call Mr. Harris directly. He's actually our guest for the day.
Yes.
Yeah, he's calling from his office, so we are going to try to call him so that way the reception's better. Yeah, he actually just hit my phone and said it was hard to hear. So we're going to try to reach out to him. I'm going to get the number up here. In the meantime, Jonay going to talk about her day because
Yes. Okay.
Jesus.
All right. So my day was okay. It was an okay day. It was a little busy, but I like busy days because it makes the day go by faster. I cannot stand a day that just drags.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm a little excited for the week to end because I'm going back to Miami. And I say back to Miami because I feel like
You was just there.
I was just there.
You was just there.
But yeah, for one of my best friend's birthday, we're leaving on Saturday.
Oh,
So
shoot.
I am looking forward to
Oh,
the
yeah.
beach.
Well, I wish I could go. Bring me back some sand or something.
Definitely.
So I can feel like I was on the beach. I'll just
Some
throw it up in the air and let it splash down on me like confetti or something. It'll work out. Yes. Do we have you on the line, Mr. Harris?
You do.
Oh,
Everybody.
is it better? Does it sound better for you?
So much better. I'm not sure what's happening the first time.
Well, look,
but
at least
glad.
we got you. We went through some
Yes.
technical difficulties, but Jonay was explaining how her day was, so
Yeah.
we made it work. We made it work. How you feel? How you feeling today, Jonathan?
All is well. All is well. Very excited.
We are super
Yes,
excited to have you on the
definitely.
phone with us. Everyone who's tuning in, we're gonna get literally right into it. But Jonathan Harris, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is from the DMV. Right now, you're in Pennsylvania, correct?
That's right. I work at Lincoln University, which is in
Oh.
Pennsylvania. It's about 2 hours from where I grew up, which is Fort Washington, Maryland, in the
Okay.
DMV. I am
Okay.
a proud PG County native. I
Yes.
tell the world wherever I go, we are more than just a place that's close to D.C. or a place that's close to Virginia. We are our own entity, and we are strong. We are powerful.
Absolutely, no doubt about. Well, I'm glad you from the DMV. We're gonna rep because we all family now. We
yeah.
all family. So you're gonna carry our family out to PA for us because that's not technically part of the DMV,
Right.
but we're gonna let you make it a part of the DMV, okay?
All right.
So let's get right into it. So you do so many things, Jonathan. Like you wear so many
Yes.
hats because you are not only an author, which we're going to get into, an entrepreneur, an ambassador, honestly, life coach.
Right.
So many different things that you do and you juggle. And I want to just kind of get a feeling for, before we get into the interview, like how did this all start? Like how and when did you start like really putting your feet down and starting this new journey in your life?
Well, honestly, it's a couple things that had to happen for me to get to that point. But I guess we can go back to the year, I want to say 2015, and it was an interesting conversation that came up at work one day. And I've actually never told anybody this story, so you all would be the first.
Dope.
Yes.
But we were in a meeting at my job, and they were talking about, I guess, the future of the university, because I work at a college, and more so our specific department. And my supervisor at the time made a statement about, if she were to get promoted, she would change this person's title to be this, she would change this person's title to be that. And she named like 3 people in the room, like, I would promote you to do this, I'd promote you to do that, whatever. I was not one of the people. So I kind of I went back to my room and I was like, wow, you worked at a place for, quite a bit. But this person here, and, this person doesn't work directly with me anymore, but I'm like, if they don't see you as a long-term kind of entity,
Right.
then how does the rest of this go? It would be like being in a relationship with someone for 5 years, and they're just like, yeah, but I have no intentions to marry you. It's like, where does the relationship go if the next step that you would think the relationship would take isn't on the table? It's just like, okay, so are we just going to do this thing for the rest of our lives?
Right.
Right.
Hello.
And from there, I was like, well, it kind of made me think about me as a person, because the type of job I have, I live where I work, in the sense that literally my responsibilities include overseeing a freshman male building. So
Ooh.
I have an apartment literally in the building where they stay.
Oh, wow.
So
Oh,
it's very
wow.
easy to get kind of wrapped up in the work that you do,
Right.
because with your home being on a college campus, you know, if you bring friends over, they're cutting through the lobby where the students are, if you meet a young lady or whatever, so they kind of see everything that goes on. It's like living in a fishbowl.
Right.
essentially.
Yeah.
And after just thinking about my life, I was like, have you given so much to this place that you forgot, like, the rest of who you were and what other things you were interested in?
Mhm.
So literally around that same time that was going on kind of internally, I got a call from my dad. He works in security, so he had gotten this contract for literally watching a house in Northwest D.C. and just, you know, some extra money to get on the weekend. So I was in the DMV every weekend, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and I'm literally doing security work from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. every weekend. And literally one of the weekends I'm coming home from work, I run over I'm assuming it was a nail in the road, and my tire gets messed up. So I have to go put my tire in the shop, and when I put it in, I didn't know much about cars at the time, so I literally checked off on the maintenance form that I needed a tune-up. Now, if you know anything about cars, a tune-up is actually something dealing with the wiring of the car
Right.
to make sure that the wires are
Right.
situated.
It's
It has
expensive
nothing
as
to
heck.
do with tires.
Right.
So when I get my bill back,
Know
it's
that.
almost $300, and I'm like, okay, didn't expect it to be this much. So I'm on the phone with my father, and I talk to my grandfather, and they're just like, well, why didn't you call anybody? And, you know, at the time I'm 24 years old. I'm like, well, I'm a grown man. I figured I could do it by myself.
Right.
And,
Exactly.
you know, that mindset of being a overly prideful male who thought he was too good to ask for help ended up wasting $200 because what I needed done only cost $70.
Right.
So
Time is
it
hard.
really opened my eyes to, you know, had you just asked the question, this wouldn't be your situation right now.
Exactly.
And I thought about all the other guys in the world who probably suffer from the same thing, who don't like to speak up, don't like to ask for help. And I figured, well, what if I took that experience and some other experiences in my life, as well as just things I've seen happen to friends and family, and I put them in a book. And that was the start of how my book came about. So from there, not, you know, believe it or not, English was not my favorite subject in high school. I actually went to school for mathematics,
Ooh.
if you
Oh,
would
wow.
believe it.
That
my
was
major
my
was
worst
statistics.
subject.
Right.
So I'm actually a math nerd at heart, but the self-help book came from a place of love. I wanted it to be something that guys, you know, regardless of their background,
Right.
would have a reference to refer to. I know that for me, many of my friends growing up were raised in single-family households where they were raised by their mothers, so many of them either don't know their dads or don't have close contact with them. So I felt like a book that kind of, I won't say substituted your father, because nothing will ever really take the place of your dad, but
Right,
something
absolutely.
where you could learn how to cook, you could learn how to tie a tie, and all those other things
Right.
could kind of be covered so you didn't feel as disadvantaged.
Yeah, some of the basic necessities as a man that you might have to go through at one point in your life, honestly. So that's a very good point, and that's getting right into it. So your book is titled "Master of Ceremonies: A
Yeah.
Male's Guide for a Successful Life," and we have the cover, you know, flashing across the screen throughout the interview. And I just wanted to kind of get into that really quick about you talked a little bit about the bread and butter of the book. When did it release, and like where can people find it? Because for me, like I'm honestly interested in probably getting a copy of this, at least reviewing it, because I want to know more about it. Definitely about impacting like the youth in our community. So I'm interested to know as well.
I do want to say that I absolutely love the fact that it is geared specifically to men. You don't really see that a lot.
That's true.
You'll
That's
see
true.
self-help books, but, you know, it's not specific like that. So, you know, the guys kind of maybe feel left out because it's a lot of health, you know, things for women specifically,
Right.
but not a lot of
Right.
things for men specifically. And that stuck out to me.
That's true.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. You were one of the few people who've actually said that. You believe it or not, I catch a lot of heck for it being a men's only book. I had a girl
Wow.
went off at me once at a book signing because the book wasn't for women.
Wow.
That's crazy. Though.
That is crazy.
That is crazy.
she was like highly upset. She was like, I can't believe this. And I'm like, excuse me, miss.
Well,
if you go to Barnes and Noble, you could have a whole section of the store.
Yeah,
right.
A whole section.
Exactly.
But meanwhile, one guy from the DMV drops a book just for men, and I'm the bad guy. But no, I didn't take it personally. I explained to her, women have several resources when it comes to the self-help category.
Yeah. Right.
But to answer your question, though, the book is available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles. It's also available on my personal website, jonathancharris.com, and several other distributors, including Books A Million, eBay, even Walmart.com as well.
Nice. Absolutely. Well, I'm going to check it out myself because I'm interested in reviewing this. I actually work part-time for a company. It's kind of seasonal where we impact a lot of the youth in the community, taking them out on different projects. But most importantly, like giving them a place to learn some of the basic necessities. Yeah. This year is our first year out of the 5 years I've been there that we're actually bringing males in, and it's actually the youth, so it's ages anywhere from the age of 6 to 18. Okay. Wow. But it's always been females. Yeah. So a lot of our classes are geared around something that's more subject to that. Mm-hmm. It could be both. It could be unisex, but now we have actual like male workshops we're going to have, and we're going to bring in boys for the first time. So this is something that for me would be like very intriguing to be able to utilize a resource such as this to help with some of the basic things that we're going to cover in this particular workshop that we have for the men specifically. So the boys, I'll say, but absolutely look forward to it. So everyone, you definitely heard it from Jonathan directly. Make sure you copy a copy of that. We're really excited to read it. Now, you were on Fox 5, if I'm not mistaken, for your campaign, which is hashtag Give Authors a Chance, correct?
That is actually coming up. How that came about,
nice.
No, it hasn't happened yet, but it is coming up. What happened with that is, believe it or not, when I was 10 years old, I actually was on Fox 5 DC News.
Oh, wow.
And a long time ago, they used to run a competition called, like, basically be a weatherman for a day, where every single Friday a child was chosen from the DMV to come on and do the news with Tom Sater, who was the weatherman at the time. So I remember wanting to do it. I saw it every Friday, and I was like, Ma, I want to do that. And she's like, do it. That was the beauty of, my parents. They never stood in the way of anything that I wanted to do. They always encouraged me, even to this day. So I wrote a letter. They reached out to me, and what I didn't know about the competition is apparently it's just an opportunity for a kid from your school to get picked. It's not even for you to get picked. So they take a casting director, and they come out to your elementary school, and they audition any kid in your school. Oh, wow. So you could write the letter, and another kid from your school could get chosen, which I thought was an unfair system.
Oh,
but
yeah, that's weird. What?
Life was on. The universe was on my side. The casting director was pregnant at the time, so they never held auditions. So I got the spot. And
nice. So look at that, how that worked out.
fast forwarding, almost 2 decades later, I wrote Fox 5 after the book came out. My mom had recommended it, and they actually responded. I was like, okay, it's been so long. It's been about maybe 15 years. Would they even still remember me? And then ironically, I still had the footage from it too. So I sent them the link like, hey, you may not remember this specific episode, but here's the video when I did the weather. And ironically, the same lady still worked there, and she remembered me.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
So
that many
I was
years
actually
later. Wow.
supposed to go on the show back in October, but it was the same time we had a hurricane. So literally, I remember coming home all the way from Pennsylvania. I'm so excited. And they had told me there's a chance, if there's ever any type of emergency, then they have to switch to around-the-clock coverage of that emergency. And we end up, I think, having a hurricane in Florida. So the same day, my segment gets bumped.
Oh, wow.
And it was just one of those things where I was like, that's kind of discouraging. But the cool part is, I was told just, at some point reschedule. So what ended up happening is that I'm working on my second book.
Right.
And I thought about it. I was like, okay, well, I'm really excited. Book 1 is out, and that would still be great to go on like soon after October, maybe like at Christmas time or something. But then I was like, when you're working on the second book, you have an opportunity to kind of market 2 books. And then around the same time, I started my movement. So I figured it would be better to wait until the second book comes out in August and then use my opportunity to go on TV. That way I can kind of plug 2 books at once.
And that's the book that's called Growing Gents, correct? The animation?
Yes.
Okay, now is that geared more towards the younger kids? Is it also boys, or is it both boys and girls, and is it geared towards a younger crowd?
Yes, that's also for young boys as well. That's more so, I would say, ages 2 to 5.
Okay.
And the cool part about Growing Gents, that was actually inspired by my supporters. I realistically didn't plan to write a second book, just like I didn't plan to write a first book.
Right.
But when I was out at book signings, you know, with Master of Ceremonies, that's more so a book that like a 13-year-old and up would appreciate, because some of the topics deal with things more related to independence, like moving out on your own, traveling by yourself, cooking and stuff. So I would meet a lot of, especially moms, and they're like, "Oh, I wish you had something for my 3-year-old." And I have heard that so many times. I'm just like, this is kind of a recurring theme. I guess I need to do something for the young guys if that's what that's what the community is asking for.
Yeah, that's true though.
So I wanted to make, I guess you would say, like a prequel to my first book. So Growing Gents, the gist of it is to teach a young boy at an early age what is expected from him when he grows up to become a man. So every page is a illustration of a different animal exuding some type of act. So each page will begin with a gentleman is, or it'll say a gentleman does, and then some type of action. So, for example, one is a gentleman is always early, a gentleman counts to 10, and just different things that we will want them by the time they turn 18 to have grasped and then mastered. So the funny part too is, like I said, now that would be 2 books that are just for the males. So a lot of my female friends and just females that I've met along the way are like, when are you going to do something for the young ladies? So March the 8th, I'm actually releasing book number 3, and that will be the female equivalent to this children's book series that I'm doing.
Oh, nice. Oh, okay.
Even in with the Growing Gents, I think that is also an equally great idea. But
Thank you.
It's not, even though it is geared towards the younger men or the younger boys that are growing to be men, I think it is also important for parents to read that to their little girls as well, so that they know what to expect.
Yeah.
So it can go both ways. Definitely. I do have a question.
Sure.
Because you're an author and an entrepreneur, what are some of the challenges that you face? For me, I'm a PK. If no one knows what that is, I'm a preacher's kid.
Preacher's kid?
Yeah.
I didn't, but I was going with it. I was going along with it. I was like,
So for me, I have to always consciously be worried about my perception.
Right.
Is that something that you have to deal with because you are an author and because you are an entrepreneur and because you are this figure to so many people, young and older?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like in life, it's one of those things where they say what happens to you is kind of meant to prepare you for the future.
Yeah.
So it would be ironic that before I become an author, I would have a job where I live in a residence hall with 100 freshman men.
Right.
I mean, if you talk about role modeling, there it is. It's in your face where you live with them. It's not like I see them for a couple hours and then I go home to a loft somewhere and just go be a whole nother person. Like, if they hear me, I mean, if I'm crying, they can hear it. That's how closely related. Like, I have a next door neighbor who's a student. So much of your life is for display. It's not being funny. It's like being on a reality TV show.
Right.
If I was dating and I was arguing with my girlfriend on the phone, they would be able to hear it. I have a person who lives right across the hall from me when I open the door. I have a person who lives above me, and I have a person to my left. So it's a lot of prep work already, just being in a role model capacity. So when I became an author, I feel like it was a pretty easy transition for me in that regard. The hardest part about this industry that I'm learning is, number one, you wear a lot of hats. to get this off of the ground. Like literally, just outside of being an author, in an average day, I'm the graphic designer because I'm making all the flyers for appearances and things that I'm trying to do. I'm the website technician because I have to go in and update my website to let people know this is happening. I'm the social media correspondent. I am the accountant who's making sure the finances are suitable to travel to this place and how to get it, properly associated. I'm the banker if I need to transfer funds between an account. And you wear so many hats that I'm just like, oh my goodness. I get now when a famous person wins an award at like the Grammys or something and they have like a list of 40 people to thank and everyone's so annoyed with them. But I'm like, I get it. Right. It really takes a team for this all to kind of pan out. So I'm just excited that one day I'm going to be able to get to the point where I can hire staff for all of these positions. I want to be an employer where I can turn around and have a team of 40 where all of these roles that I currently play are now given to other people who are talented. Another part, as you mentioned as well, is just that, constantly being in the spotlight. And as I do more, the spotlight gets bigger and bigger. So my father's always told me, he says, if you say, look at me, world, I'm Don Harris, don't worry, they're actually going to be looking. So just being mindful of my associations. And even within my first year of business, I learned that, every brand isn't good business to be associated with. Right. I know I wanted to do motivational t-shirts at one point, and I was talking with, believe it or not, I was on another radio show, and after the show I was talking with the host who's also trying to do motivational shirts as well, and soon into the conversation he was discussing that the motivational shirts were pro-black, which I thought was really cool, but then it had taken a whole different left turn, and now it became white bashing and all of that stuff, and I was like, well, that's not the direction that I was looking at all when thinking about motivational. So I had to let him know politely, we can't do business together because that's not my platform, that's not what I stand for, and I wouldn't want to be associated with anything that is promoting that message because that's not my message.
Makes sense. So. I do also want to ask you about your involvement with the community. So, like, what types of things is it that you are involved in? What is it that you do to help your community?
Good question. I think that's really important. That's something on my Facebook page. I don't want to say get on because I don't want to sound like anyone's papa, but that's something that I'm talking to my friends about all the time is like giving back. And even though I do live in Pennsylvania, but I try to go home at least once a month and, just visit. While I'm home, I'll reach out and see if there's any partnerships that can be done with any type of school. So when I have the opportunities to go into either a community center or a school, especially in PG, I don't think I've ever charged one unless they brought it to the table where they said they were going to pay me. But I'll never, especially when it comes to back home, because I just have so much PG County pride. I've spoken at several things for free, but even up here in the Pennsylvania area, I'm a big brother for a program called Chester County Futures, which is the county that I live in. And basically they pair you with a low-income minority student from the area. So I have a 16-year-old mentee. His name is Nelson, and he's one of literally the most amazing students that I've met. His life story is just amazing, with his parents coming here from another country, and some of the things that he has even just shared and experienced as a openly gay teenager. It helps because, like I said, I work at a college, so I know my students may be in similar situations, and it helped me be a better mentor for them. But we get together once a month. We'll do dinner sometimes, or I think once we actually saw a movie. But those are some of the ways that I like to give back. But I actually want to do even more. I try to be someone who doesn't find comfort in the current things that you do, because that's how you can easily get stagnant and not grow. But instead look for new opportunities to give back. So I was talking to my cousin. Ironically, the summer camp that he and I used to do when we were growing up is no longer existing. So I was telling him one day I would love for us to bring that program back, because I think the structure that they had was literally perfect. And it's kind of no point reinventing the wheel, but something similar to what they did. I would love to see he and I, when we get a little bit more established, and I actually moved back to PG County to start our own camp one day.
Yeah, it's dope.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
a great idea.
I would do that.
Yeah.
I would love that. I would love to be a part of that too. I mean, if you're going to do anything in the DMV area, let me know because I would love to help out with something like that.
Listen, summer camp literally changed my life. Like, it was one of those things. It was actually a summer vacation Bible camp.
Oh, yeah.
But just the structure of the camp, you know, I'm just still to this day confused how they did all of that with us for 2 to 3 weeks for only $200, because I just know in transportation alone, getting those buses there was no way, but they made it work. We were entertained. We left as better people. And then even, you know, when I became a teenager, I was able to become a counselor for them. So I earned all of my required community service for high school from that camp, where I literally graduated high school winning an award from the Kiwanis Club for having the most community service hours for any male in my entire high school. And I attribute that to my summer camp.
That's a big accomplishment. Yeah.
Thank you. We needed, I think, 36 at the time to graduate, and by the time I was done high school, I had 452. So
oh my gosh.
It opened a lot of doors, and I'm just truly thankful for that camp. I wish they were still open to this day.
452, right? It made my heart skip an extra beat.
You know what? I didn't even do all my community service. I don't know.
Oh, see, this a roller coaster of a ride. We went way high up, and then she said, "I didn't even finish mine." He took my hours from me. Y'all went to the same high school, didn't y'all? He took the hours from you. It's okay.
Yeah, we went in 2 different places. I went to high school in Baltimore, but clearly he stole my hours.
Right, transfer credits.
Wow. I have another question that I would like to ask you, and it's more so about traveling and all of the places that you've been. So of all of the places that you've been on tour, what was your favorite and which one was the most memorable?
Oh, okay. So favorite was June the 6th, which was actually like a couple weeks ago. Okay. I had the opportunity to be the graduation speaker for my old elementary school.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
And it's one of those things where my 4th and 5th grade teacher still works there. So it was the biggest class, promoting class of all time, because PG County has changed their structure now where middle school starts at 6th grade. You know, other counties and states have been doing the 6th, 7th, 8th is middle school, but I guess Prince George's County was a little behind in that regard. So now it was set up when the 6th graders were moving to the 7th, the 5th graders were moving to the 6th, but all of them are still going to middle school. So they did like this huge, I think there were over 100 of them who were going on to middle school. So when I got there, it was like 500 people, my biggest audience to date that I got to speak to. So it was just so sentimental because, like I said, I went to that school, and them seeing me, it was like, wow, that was your teacher back in the day? I'm like, yeah. And it was cool because the kids were just so excited to meet me, and I was just like, oh my God, this is like one of the best days of my life. Most memorable would be I was in New Jersey back in August, and this was around the time that I had just begun traveling. And the reason I say just begun, my book was actually published in March 2016, but what happened was that I had an official launch party that my parents were nice enough to throw for me, and that wasn't until pretty much the end of May, so I didn't really begin any traveling until almost June.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So with that being said, I went to this authors festival, which was in New Jersey. It was the first time I had ever been that far for any book-related things, as well as my first time being at something where other authors were going to be at. In the exact city, it was Voorhees, New Jersey. And one of the things that I didn't realize at an authors festival is all the different types of authors that were going to be there and some of the cool things that you can do to engage your audience. So literally the lady next to me, who's a good friend of mine now, she had gift bags and just different things. So as a brand new author, you know, I'm in the room, probably the most experienced, one of 2 males or 3 males there, and my first book, whereas everybody else is on book 6. They have these beautiful banners and all of this stuff, and I'm just like I felt very intimidated.
Yeah.
But
Right.
what I realized is being the dumbest person in the room sometimes can leave you with the biggest advantage because you're going to see where everybody else is kind of at, and you can project how you can get there too.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
So I took the approach of, don't go in there all shy or whatever. Go in there with the objective to learn and to study.
Yeah.
So from, networking, getting their contact information, one of the cool parts about it was that I ended up meeting a lady who allowed me to be on her radio show back in January. Her name was Frederica. And as a result, I ended up getting a show with that very same station a couple months later.
Oh, wow. Nice.
And what made it discouraging at first was because I had traveled to the Authors Festival and there were a bunch of other authors there, and I had started out. I didn't sell that many books. I was still very new in the realm of business, selling, writing, all of that. So, being very green early on kind of hurt the pockets a little bit, but I knew that each time I did one, I would get better at it.
Definitely.
So, I'm going home like, dang, you went all this way to New Jersey. You only sold a couple books, da-da-da-da. But meanwhile, I meet this lady. I'm on her show. I have my own show now. I meet people who teach me how to be a better salesman and just all of these things.
Right.
So, I end up coming up a lot further than one who's just looking for a couple of dollars would have.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. It's like stepping stones almost, but you kind of reach your way to the top of the steps. Yeah, absolutely. Ooh, I love that. It's very empowering, so I really enjoy that. So
Thank you.
I was looking on your website, which you mentioned a little bit ago, and I was looking at some of your experience, as an author, as a life coach. Some of the bullet points on there as a life coach was talking about communication skills that you help to, really not necessarily always teach, but also like encompass in your work and in your work that you're doing when working with these young men. Not only communication skills, but also like confidence coaching, their organization and productivity, career coaching, preparing for that type of lifestyle and change that they're going to expect, and even college prep. So out of all of those different things and those different factors and things that you're working with in general, which one, if you could pick just one, I know it's kind of hard, but which one has become the most successful, do you think, when it comes to coaching?
I know for me, I'm probably utilized the most for career-related help. I know that in my background at the university, as well as even before getting my job here at Lincoln University, I do a lot with recruiting and interviewing for student workers in our department. So oftentimes, I'm the person who reviews the resume, determines if the applicant gets an interview. So a lot of students kind of knew me as the resume guy on campus, even though we do have our own career services center, and the person who runs that is actually great as well. But because I live, on campus all times of day and night, and he goes home at a certain time, they'll tend to come to me at 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Like I have a couple resumes on my desk that I had told some students I would get back to them, and even some alum who have graduated from the university who still kind of seek me out for help. So I would say that one has been the most positive, and I'll get texts like, "Wow, the next day you helped me, I got a call back," and I'm like, "Oh, that's really cool, and that's really quick too." So
Definitely.
I come from the school of, I was always taught with anything you do, like you have to put your best foot forward because there's not always a second opportunity. So a lot of times people don't always give you their best because they feel like I'll have later down the road to give you my best. And I look at life like, if I never saw you again, would you say this was the best Jonathan you got?
Right.
Not, I felt like there was more to get from him. I didn't really fully understand him or things like that. So when I write essays, I don't write like standard essays. I tell stories. When I made my personal statement, I made this analogy about shoes, and people were like, shoes? So basically, long story short, if you think about a pair of shoes, you have a left shoe and a right shoe, obviously, but if you tried to put the left shoe on your right foot, you technically could do it, but it's going to be very uncomfortable. Now, imagine walking around all day with that left shoe on your right foot. It's like technically, again, you could do it, but it's not going to feel natural, right?
Right.
So think about your life as a pair of shoes. A lot of people work jobs that would be considered that proverbial left shoe. It's like, you know what? The job pays the bills, but I would rather be doing something else.
Right.
I'm in a relationship with so-and-so, but I'd rather be with so-and-so. And many of us have kind of settled for what's convenient to us. So when you meet a
Right.
person who is actually in search of that correct pair, which is the right shoe for your right foot, it just talks about my journey and how I decided to trade in all the wrong shoe for the right shoe. And I actually won like a scholarship to a conference off of that essay. So
Oh, wow.
I
Oh,
used
wow.
that same concept and did it for graduate school because I want to go get my master's at some point. But that's just an example of how when I work with people, I try to get them to see their applications in their cover letters.
Right.
As a person who reviews resumes, it's easy to get 500 applications for one job. My question to you is, how do you stand out from the other 499?
It's a very good question to ask yourself.
But you know what my statement would be about shoes is: are you going to be a basic pair of Adidas, or are you going to be a nice pair of Jordans? Because if you want to get to the higher level, you got to work for it.
Well,
Not
mine
just
would
money wise,
be-
but you got to work for it in life in general. So
Mine would be.
I told
are
a
you gonna
student that
be
the other day.
Payless or
We were talking
Lucent?
about I guess he had come up here to visit for the summer at the school, and we were just talking about how just different things that I'm working on, and he was just like, wow, Mr. Harris, I'm really proud of you. I see you out here, grinding and hustling and all of that. And I said, but listen, let me tell you this. For every radio show that I have been on, every magazine that I've been featured in, and every book talk that I have had the opportunity to do, there are another 900 emails I've also sent for people who've never gotten back to me.
right.
So I try to teach people that it's not just like, oh, he's out here stunting and balling. I'm very
Right.
proud of every opportunity I get because I'm telling you, I'd say I'm in the library almost every night till 2 and 3 in the morning researching people to reach out to, sending emails, editing over things, sending, buying stamps to actually mail letters out. Like, I know who still writes letters in 2017. But
Some
there's
people
a
do.
huge kind of behind the scenes part that I don't think a lot of people kind of get wind of, but I tell them, like, for everything that a person earns, there's a lot that goes into it to
Definitely.
get that spot. Especially in the world, unfortunately, being an author isn't always a profession that people put in high regard, which is why I started my Give Authors a Chance movement in the first place. So, there are some people who see, oh, he's an author, and they're impressed by it, and there are others who literally could not care less. So,
Right, exactly.
working to change that perception of what an author is and their capabilities in society is something that takes a lot of time, after work. So I often tell people, yes, I work at a university, but being an author is having another job. So I have two jobs. As simple as that. If I'm not doing things related to my job here at Lincoln, I'm
Right.
doing stuff related to my book. I've given up holidays. I've worked on my birthday, evenings. I've worked sick, and it's because I want it to be further than what it is. So, for anybody listening at home right now, or just any student that I've talked to, I always tell them that you have to be prepared to really sacrifice to make your dreams happen.
Woo. Ain't that the
Yeah,
truth?
preach that.
That is the truth. But listen, Mr. Harris, can you please provide us with your social media so that everybody that's listening can keep up with you and, get in touch with you if they want to talk to you?
Stay
or-
empowered.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Motivation.
Of course. So my social media, which consists of Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, are all at Author John. So if you go and just type in
Nice.
Author John, it's the same on every platform. You can get me at Author John. I'm always open to talking to people. My goal is to be one of those people who gets back to everybody. I know as
Right.
life gets busier, that just becomes more and more difficult.
Difficult.
But I really do take pride in that because I know that we're only where we are because somebody invested in us and gave us the opportunity.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
I just
Right.
don't want to be one of those people who's just too good to sign stuff, to return emails. I've gotten messages on Facebook and Instagram where people have listened to shows I've been on, and they go, "Hey, I heard you on this show, and your words really inspired me." So I do my best to take a second to try to really get back to everybody, even if it's just as simple as a thank you. But
Right.
I've never taken anybody's kind words for granted because they don't have to do that. They don't have to take
Right.
a second out of their day to even acknowledge that they heard you and what they heard, really spoke to them.
And you are absolutely a role model in our eyes, and hopefully for many people out there. We absolutely want to encourage everyone to get a copy of your book, to read it, to help with raising your children, especially if you have young boys as well. Yes. Jonathan, we want to give you a huge shout out and thank you for joining us on our show today on Out the Box Radio. We really enjoyed this interview. We learned so much about you, and we will absolutely be in contact with you and hope that you enjoyed yourself as well.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you all so much. You guys were amazing hosts. I'm truly, truly, truly grateful, as always, to just be surrounded by other people who are also trying to do better with themselves and take their lives to that next step. Also, too, for anybody who's interested in signing my Give Authors a Chance petition, it's available on my website, jonathanharris.com, and basically the petition encourages media outlets to give more opportunities to authors to be spotlighted at award ceremonies, TV shows, videos, and all the other things that you see other entertainers do.
Absolutely. And for those of you who are interested, if you need to see all of the information we just talked about as far as his social media handles, his website, be sure to go to either one. You can go to Author Jon, Jon. There's no H in there, so don't get confused, y'all. Go there to the page and look at the most recent post with the flyer. You can also go to either of our pages, the Out the Box Radio Show page, which is OTB_radio show. We have the flyer up as well. Yes. And all the information's on there. We encourage everyone to definitely partake in that, as we will be as well. So thanks again, Jonathan, for joining us, and we hope to be in connection with you very soon, okay?
Yes.
Most definitely. Thank you all again.
Have a great night.
All right.
Jonay, that is it for Out the Box Radio. Today went by so fast. We're going to be back after the 4th of July, so we have a week off.
Yes, enjoy your holidays.
Enjoy your holidays. She's going to enjoy Miami. I'm going to enjoy my bedroom and my bed because I'm tired. We'll see y'all July 5th, 2017. Happy 4th of July.